What up guys, Mr. Chrome Asylum here, and today I'm going to be reacting to Mr. Nightmare 4 Airport Horror Stories, so let's get into this. Oh, I forgot to put up the volume, sorry.
The summer of 2007, when I was 10 years old, the family and I had a trip to Disneyland planned. Our flight was booked for midnight on a Tuesday to save money, and my mom figured my sisters and I would sleep through the flight. My sisters were 8 and 5 at the time. The gatehouse was for the most part empty as we waited for our flight. My mom went to go to the bathroom with my youngest sister, and a minute later my dad told me to wait there and watch my other sister while he went to get a last-minute bite to eat at the cafe.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. Hold on. Hold on. That's the worst thing. You're leaving your two young kids alone? That is fucked up. That is just horrible right there.
She put her hand on my back as she acted all excited to see us and asked where our parents were.
That's creepy.
I told her they would be right back.
The lady out of nowhere just pops up.
Then a middle-aged man came over as well and started acting just as bubbly and affectionate towards us as if he knew us. The man then proclaimed that he just ran into my dad at the cafe and finally introduced himself and the woman as our dad's cousins. My sister and I looked at each other and we
Wait, hold on. If the guy's his cousin and the woman is also his cousin, don't that mean those two are brother and sister or something? I don't know, man. This is what gets me confused. Sometimes family.
Really shyly, the man reached out his hand for my sister to grab, while the woman reached out her hand for me to grab. They told us to follow them because they wanted us to meet their kids.
Fuck no. I'm like, hell no, goes my dad.
Hands and followed them. The two started leading us out of the gatehouse, past the cafe, down the stairs, and towards the lobby of the airport. When I realized they were leading us to the entrance of the airport, towards the parking lot, I finally asked, "Where are we going?" The woman looked at me through her thick-framed glasses, and with her cheeky smile, said their kids were outside by the car.
No, don't believe them.
As we walked outside into the dark parking lot, I looked at my sister and became really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you should.
I broke my hand free from the woman and said we wanted to go back inside.
People come out of nowhere and be like, hey, I know you. I'm your cousin's dad. And I'm your dad's cousin.
Both gone.
No.
The man turned quickly to us and then aggressively wrapped his arms around me as the woman did the same to my sister.
Kick him in the balls. Do something. Poke his eyes. Smack him.
Closer to the parking lot as me and my sister screamed. We heard yelling in the distance from two men who turned out to be airport security. The crazed pair let us go and ran quicker than I'd ever seen anyone run, quickly disappearing into the parking lot.
Fuck yeah.
One of the men chased them down, or at least tried to, while the other talked with us for a bit, then led us back into the airport, back to our parents and other sister. It had only been a few minutes and my mom was already sobbing like a baby. Being that I was so young makes this a really weird and uncomfortable memory to think about. It's also weird to think that I didn't see any red flags go off when the two didn't give us their names.
I don't think you asked for the names. Yeah, she didn't ask for the names, dude. I don't think so. Huh.
It was minutes before boarding my flight to North Carolina for a job interview the next day. It was on a stormy February night. Everyone was bundled up and keeping to themselves. I was sitting in the terminal room waiting for my flight to be called. It wasn't going to be a very busy flight because there weren't many people in the waiting area. Someone sat down 2 seats away from me, which wasn't too weird itself, but also was a bit annoying.
That is weird, though. If a random person just sits next to you, be like,
hey, sir. It went from annoying to downright disturbing when I looked at him to see him weirdly staring at me.
The hell?
I looked away and pretended not to care, but I could tell he was still looking at me.
I would run.
Then
you fuck my flight and be like, nope, bitch, I'm out of here.
Then the two men sitting a row across from me were going on the same plane and were planning on kidnapping me once we landed in North Carolina.
Whoa, no. Hold on. They were planning on kidnapping me. That is freaky. That is weird. At that point, I would have been like, nope, I'm out of here. He was probably with them and decided not to kidnap me, huh? Didn't think about that. I'm gonna edit that part out.
I didn't know what to say other than, "What?" The heavy man then got up and walked away. At the same time, my flight was called, and I nervously boarded the plane while paying attention to the two
Who
men.
wouldn't?
They sat down ahead of
Alright, comment down below if you would do that. Because that's just weird.
me, and as I walked past them approaching my seat, they both stared me down.
Stare at them
At
back.
that moment, I started to wonder if that man's warning were true.
I would be paranoid. I would
A
have
few
done the same
hours
thing.
later, we arrived at NC, and on my way out of the plane and leaving the airport, I cautiously looked around trying to spot the two men.
I would have done the same thing.
When I was finally outside in the dark, cold parking lot, I spotted them. The two men were peering their heads at me from around a red minivan.
Oh,
And I
hell
guess when
no.
they saw me
Stalkerish
looking in their
right there.
direction, they hid behind the van. I walked back
Bruh, they
inside
can
of the
slit.
airport, waited half an hour, called for a taxi, waited for it to pull up front, and rode to my hotel.
Would have done the same thing. I wouldn't blame you.
So many questions. I don't know who that man was who warned me. I don't know how he knew of those other two men. And I have no idea what they were planning on doing to me, if they were actually looking to kidnap me. So this happened a few months ago. I'm 26. I was at JFK Airport in New York with 5
John
friends.
F. Kennedy.
All of us were about to fly down to Florida to spend the week in a beach house. We had a few more minutes to kill in the airport before we would board our flight, and I really had to go to the bathroom all of a sudden.
Who
I was
wouldn't?
baffled to see a line out the door for the bathroom.
Damn, dude.
I
Playing
noticed
line
the
that
janitor
big.
walking by, so
Hold
I
it
asked
in.
her if there was another bathroom nearby that wouldn't be so crowded. She laughed and told me she shouldn't really be telling people there was another bathroom past the door she was pointing at, down a narrow flight of stairs and to the left. I thanked her because she was extremely nice and followed the direction she gave me. Sure enough, behind that door that no one would think to open was a small stairway that led down to a really poorly lit, skinny hallway.
I wouldn't go there. It's probably
It was
dirty.
so narrow
Smell
that
like
if two
this.
people were to pass by each other, one person would
Been
have
like,
to
nope.
stand against the wall to make room. I found the bathroom right away. The door was extremely heavy and hard to push. Also, the lights were on inside of the bathroom, and it was filthy in there.
Guessed it.
It was evident that nobody ever really came in there to clean. Now, this is a little embarrassing to mention, but when I go to the bathroom in public places, I always try to make sure nobody else is around to possibly hear me going. So after checking the stall to see that it was unoccupied, I went back into the hallway for a second to take a look down both directions. To the left, there was somebody standing at the end of the hall, in
No.
the dark, unlit section of the hallway.
At that point, I would have been like,
It
nope,
was a
screw the
disturbing sight,
bathroom.
to say the least.
I would
All
have
could
went
do
out
was
and be like,
awkwardly
hey,
pull
guy.
my head back into
so
the
fuck
bathroom
you.
and try to pretend
left.
we didn't see each other.
Well, hell no.
I went into the stall and just stood there biting my fingers for a minute, dreading the thought of that door opening. And of course, it did.
Yep.
I saw the man's black shoes under the stall door as he walked to the stall next to mine. He shut the door, and then there was silence.
Oh, no.
No sound of the man unzipping his fly or sitting down, nothing. I realized I didn't really have to go anymore, and went to unlock the stall door. That's when I looked up and saw the man's head peering over the stall, looking at me.
Bruh, hold on. No,
I
you
nearly
gotta
had
be
a heart
kidding
attack
right
as my
there.
screams bounced off
I would
the
have
wall
punched him in the
of tiny
face, slapped him,
bathroom.
poked him in the eye, hit him with
I
something,
ran
dude.
back up those damn steps and out that door, and then
I
casually
would have
walked back
slapped
over
him
to
with
my
something,
friends.
ran out the run
was
out the
breathing
door,
heavily,
go
but
up the
nobody seemed to
stairs, go back
notice.
with my friend and be like,
I didn't tell anyone just because it was
Oh.
embarrassing, and I didn't want my
Hell
friends
no.
to make fun of me in any way. I know, I guess that seems stupid now. We went out to have our Florida vacation and all had a good time. Of course, the thought of that creepy man haunted me every night that week.
Alright guys, well I'm gonna end the video there. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you're new, subscribe to become part of the Romo Asylum. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.